This tale is called My Family Made Me Babysit Their Kids During Our Vacation, but this time, I chose Spain instead. Hi everyone. Before we dive into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed that our channel isn't growing as much as it used to, and subscribing is one of the easiest ways you can help us. It's free, quick, and ensures we keep delivering great content to you. Your support means everything to us, so let's work together to keep this channel growing. Thanks a lot. And now, let's get started with the video. Alright, Reddit, this is going to be a long one, so sorry in advance if the formatting's off. I'm on mobile and pretty tired, but I need to get this out. I'm 31, female, and have always been the responsible one in my family. You know, the one who gets called when someone needs something. That's me. While my sister, let's call her Amy, and my sister-in-law Sarah followed the typical path of marriage, kids, and the suburbs right after college, I took a different direction. I focused on my career and worked my tail off at a corporate office downtown. Honestly, I'm pretty proud of what I've achieved. I started as an entry-level analyst, and now I have a nice corner office on the 23rd floor. Those 60-hour work weeks and missing weekends actually paid off. My desk has a fantastic view of the city, and sometimes late at night, I pause to look at all the lights and think, yeah, I did that. But my family, they just don't get it. Every family gathering turns into this awkward intervention about my life choices. It's always, when are you going to settle down? Or, you're not getting any younger. Or my personal favorite from Sarah. I know a great guy from church, he'd be perfect for you. And it's not just about marriage. They act like my career is just this little hobby I do in between babysitting their kids. Hello, I'm a senior project manager overseeing multi-million-dollar accounts. But try explaining that to Amy when she calls me at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday expecting me to drop everything because her son's daycare closed early. The truth is, I adore my nieces and nephews. I've always been there for them. Birthday parties, I'm the cool aunt with the best gifts. School plays, I'm in the front row filming. Sick days, I use my precious PTO to play nurse when their parents have work. But recently, something's been off. Like last month, Sarah needed me to watch her kid because she had this important doctor's appointment. Later, I saw on her Instagram stories that she was actually at a spa day with her friends and didn't even try to hide it. When I mentioned it, she was like, "You wouldn't understand. Being a mom is so stressful. I really needed that break." And Amy? She's even worse with her whole, "you're single, so your time doesn't matter" attitude. Last week she told me, "It's not like you have anything better to do on weekends anyway," when I tried to turn down babysitting because I was in the middle of preparing for a massive merger at work. But apparently, my work doesn't matter as much as her need to go shopping with her friends. It's funny, or rather sad, because I used to be fine with all of this. I convinced myself that it was enough that they needed me, that being the reliable one was its own reward. But now, looking back, I can't believe I fell for that. My coworker Lisa, who's like a second mom to me, keeps telling me to set boundaries. She sees how many emergency family calls I get during work hours. The other day she asked me flat out, "When was the last time someone in your family asked how you were doing?" I couldn't remember. And yeah, that's me. The reliable one, the responsible one, the one who always says yes. Or at least, that's who I was. Something recently happened that changed everything. And writing this is making me realize just how messed up everything was. So, there I was, buried in spreadsheets for this massive merger at work. My desk looked like a paper factory exploded, and I had 6 reports to finish, plus a huge presentation for a client next week that I hadn't even started yet. My phone starts buzzing. Amy. Usually, when I'm this busy, I let calls go to voicemail, but Amy has this habit of calling and texting until you pick up. So, I answer, trying to type with one hand. "Hey, Em, got a minute?" she says with that fake sweet tone she uses when she wants something. "Sure," I reply, still typing. "What's up?" "You know, Mom's birthday's coming up," Amy says. I didn't actually know, but I just mumbled, while trying to fix a spreadsheet formula that was giving me grief. "Well, we're planning something really special," Amy squeals. She didn't say what it was, but I wasn't really paying attention because I was struggling with this stupid Excel formula. "How much?" I finally asked, getting the formula to work. When she told me the amount, I literally choked on my coffee. We're talking about more money than I spent on my entire last vacation. That's a lot. Oh, come on, Em, it's for Mom, and you're the only one with a real job. The rest of us have families to support, she added. There it was, the guilt trip. The assumption that because I'm single, I must be rolling in money, like my rent in the city isn't 3 times what they pay for their suburban mortgages. Fine, I said, pulling up my banking app. I'll transfer it now. You're the best, Amy chirped. And clear your schedule for that week. Don't plan anything else. I was about to ask, what week exactly, when she hung up. Classic Amy. Over the next few weeks, she kept calling with these vague updates. Hey Em, just checking you got those days off? Yep, still need to talk to my boss about it. What dates exactly? I asked. Oh, you know, that week. Gotta go. Or, just wanted to make sure you're not planning anything else for that week. She still hadn't told me the dates. Don't worry about it. It's all handled. Oh, and Sarah wants to know if you can watch my nephew tomorrow. It got to the point where even my coworkers started noticing. I was getting 5 to 6 calls a day from Amy or Sarah, all being vague about these plans. My coworker Tom said, "Your phone rings more than our customer service line." During a meeting, Amy called 3 times, so I asked Mom about it. She froze, then fumbled with the dish towel in her hands. Well, I promised not to say anything, but I'm helping pay for it, she admitted, giving me a nervous laugh. You'll find out soon enough, sweetie. Just trust me. It's a good thing. Then, she switched topics completely. Did Sarah tell you about that nice young man from church? Even my cousin Kate was acting strange. You're coming to the thing, right? She asked casually when we bumped into each other. What thing? When is it? Where is it? I shot back. Kate gave me a playful shove. Oh, come on. Just say yes. Trust me. You'll love it. How can I say yes when I don't even know what I'm agreeing to? I said, crossing my arms. She rolled her eyes as if I were being ridiculous. Stop pretending you know, she said. No, Kate, I really don't. Her face dropped for a second, then she forced a smile. Well, you'll find out soon enough, she said, practically running off before I could ask anything else. I knew something was up, but I was so busy with work that I didn't have time to think about it. Plus, there was this whole issue with my nephew getting sent home for turning his classroom into an art gallery. Translation: he drew on everything, and guess who had to leave work early to pick him up because Amy was too busy with her own stuff. Looking back, I can't believe I didn't see what they were setting me up for. But I guess when you're used to being the family doormat, you don't notice when they're about to walk all over you even harder. And finally, at a family dinner, it all blew up. Picture this. I'm already stressed because I had to leave work early to make it on time, and I've got a huge merger presentation tomorrow that I'm nowhere near ready for. But Mom guilt-tripped me into coming because family dinner is tradition. The usual crew was all there. Mom trying to force leftovers on everyone, Dad pretending to watch sports on his phone but actually playing Candy Crush, Sarah doing her perfect Christian wife act, and all the kids running around like tiny tornadoes. I was sitting there trying to secretly check work emails under the table when Kate asked, "Did you bring your planner? We need to check some dates." Before I could answer, Amy did this super obvious fake cough, and the whole room went silent. "We have an announcement about Mom's birthday," Amy said, standing up like she was about to give an award speech. Everyone looked at each other with these weird smiles. The kind people have when they know something you don't. "We've booked a week at Pine Valley Lodge," Amy announced proudly. "All expenses paid, full resort experience." Everyone started cheering and congratulating Mom, and meanwhile, I was sitting there doing the math in my head about how much of my money they spent on this without even telling me. Then Sarah, in that sugary voice of hers, said, "Em, you're so great with the kids. They're going to love having you watch them for that week." I stopped mid-bite. "Sorry. What?" "Oh, don't worry," Amy jumped in. "We've got it all planned out. You can use the little cabin behind the main lodge. It's got a mini fridge and everything. The kids are so excited to have a whole week with Auntie Em." "I can't take a week off," I said, putting my fork down. "We have this huge merger happening." "Oh, that work thing." Amy waved her hand like it was no big deal. "Just reschedule it." "Reschedule? Are you serious right now?" "Well," Sarah said with that look she gets when she's about to say something particularly awful, "it's not like you have actual responsibilities like we do. Your job is just You know, a job. I stared at her. My job pays my bills, I said slowly. And apparently, your vacation too. Don't be like that, Mom said. Sarah jumped in, saying, You're so great with the kids. Amy added, They won't behave for anyone else like they do with you. Fun fact, they don't behave with me either. The last time I watched them, one of them used my work laptop as a canvas for his finger painting phase, and the other tried to feed my phone to the toilet. But sure, they're little angels when they're with me. If you want me to watch 5 kids for a week, I said, you'll need to pay me. They all stared at me like I just suggested selling their kids to the circus. Sarah actually clutched her pearls, literally grabbed the necklace she wears to show everyone how proper she is. We're family, she said. Yeah, I responded. Family who took my money for a vacation I'm apparently not even going to get to enjoy. But you wouldn't enjoy it anyway, Amy said nonchalantly. It's not like you have a husband or kids to spend time with. You'd just be working on your laptop the whole time anyway. That's when Aunt Lisa, who had been quietly watching this whole mess unfold, finally spoke up. Do you guys even hear yourselves right now? Em has a career, a successful one. You can't just expect her to drop everything because you don't want to pay for childcare. But she loves watching the kids, Sarah protested. I love my nieces and nephews, I corrected her. But that doesn't mean I want to be their unpaid nanny while you all go skiing. Well, I think you're being very selfish, Mom said in that quiet tone she uses when she's really mad. After everything we've done for you? Everything you've done for me? I couldn't help but laugh. Like what? Taking my money? Volunteering me for things without asking? Making me feel bad about my life choices? The room went silent. I don't think they expected me to say no. This was actually the first time I had rejected their request, and I just sat there, staring at them like they had all lost their minds. The audacity of them, expecting me to give up an entire week to watch their kids while they went on vacation with my money. I could feel my face getting hot, like that feeling when you're so angry you might actually explode. Okay, I said, trying to sound calm. I pulled out my work laptop. Let's talk actual numbers here. You want me to watch 5 kids under 7, 24/7, for an entire week. The going rate for a nanny in this area is $25 per hour for 1 kid, plus $5 for each additional kid. That's $45 per hour. For 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that comes out to about $7,560. And that's not including the money I already paid for the trip. I did the math quickly in my head. You would have thought I suggested selling their children on eBay. Sarah actually gasped. Amy started laughing like I'd told the funniest joke ever. Mom just kept shaking her head with that disappointed look she's perfected over the years. We're not paying you to spend time with your own nieces and nephews, Amy said, still laughing. That's ridiculous. So you admit it's a job? I asked. It's a job you don't want to pay for, I added. It's not a job when it's family, Sarah insisted. We watched each other's kids all the time growing up. Yeah, for a few hours after school, I retorted. Not for an entire week while everyone else goes on vacation. I don't understand why you're being so difficult about this, Mom sighed. You're not even doing anything that week except leading a huge merger project. Oh, please, Sarah scoffed. It's not like you're saving lives or anything. That's when Aunt Lisa, who had been sipping her tea quietly through this whole debacle, finally spoke up. Sarah, honey, do you even know what a corporate merger is? The kind of responsibility Em has? Sarah waved her hand dismissively. She sits in an office all day. How hard can it be? I manage a team of 15 people, I said through gritted teeth. We handle multi-million-dollar accounts. I worked 60-hour weeks for 10 years to get where I am. See? Amy said triumphantly. You're used to working long hours, so watching the kids will be easy for you. I looked around the table at these people who were supposed to be my family. Mom was still shaking her head. Dad was still hiding behind his phone. Sarah was smirking like she'd won something, and Amy was barely paying attention while trying to stop her kid from drawing on the tablecloth. You know what? I said, starting to gather my things. You're right. I am used to working hard. I'm used to being responsible. I'm used to putting everyone else first, but I'm done being your free babysitter. This is why you're still single, you know. Men don't like women who are so career-obsessed, Sarah said, looking smug. That was it. The last straw. Not just the insult, but the way she said it. So smug and superior, like she had figured out what was wrong with me and was doing me a favor by pointing it out. I stood up so fast that my chair almost tipped over. I'm single because I choose to be. I'm successful because I work hard. And I'm leaving because I finally realized that none of you actually care about me as a person. You only care about what I can do for you. Mom started to say something, but I didn't listen. I walked out with my head held high, ignoring their calls behind me. As I got into my car, I saw Aunt Lisa giving me a thumbs up through the window. At least someone in this family gets it. I drove home that night in a daze, like when you arrive somewhere and can't even remember the drive there. I ended up sitting in my car in the parking garage of my apartment building for what felt like hours, just staring at nothing and replaying everything in my head. My phone kept lighting up with messages. Amy sending me pictures of my nephew looking sad. Definitely staged. He can't keep a straight face for more than 2 seconds. Sarah writing paragraphs about how disappointed she was in my unchristian behavior at dinner, and Mom just sending sad face emojis because she knew they drove me crazy. I turned my phone face down on the passenger seat and ignored it. Instead, I started thinking about all the times I had dropped everything for them. The time I left in the middle of a client meeting because Sarah had a medical emergency with her son. Or when I worked all night to make up for taking a day off to watch the kids while Amy went to a business conference. Or all the weekends I spent entertaining the kids because you're not doing anything anyway. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Aunt Lisa. You okay, kiddo? That was rough in there, but I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. Call me if you need to talk. That's when I started crying, full-on, ugly crying, with mascara everywhere and those weird hiccup sobs. I cried for all the times I said yes when I wanted to say no, for all the times I put my own life on hold to help with theirs, and for all the times they made me feel like being single and focused on my career somehow made me less valuable. Finally, I dragged myself upstairs to my apartment. It's a nice one-bedroom place with floor-to-ceiling windows that I worked hard to afford. Sarah always makes these little comments about how cute it is that I live in an apartment at my age, like there's something wrong with not having a house in the suburbs. But I love it here. It's mine. I earned it. I walked in and just stood there, looking at my space, the desk where I've spent countless late nights building my career, the bookshelf full of novels I actually have time to read because I'm not constantly running after kids. And then, suddenly, this crazy idea hit me. Well, crazy for me. Probably normal for anyone who actually has healthy boundaries with their family. I opened my laptop and started Googling. First flight prices, then hotels, then actual vacation packages. My hands were shaking as I typed. You see, I had this chunk of savings set aside. I always called it my emergency fund. But let's be real. It was my family emergency fund. The money I kept available for when they inevitably needed something. I sat there looking at my bank balance, then at the vacation packages, then at my phone, still lighting up with guilt trip messages. A week in Spain. Beautiful. 1823. I began browsing for hotels, historic sites, art museums, and food tours. Everything I had always wanted to do, but never did, because someone always needed something more urgent. The cursor hovered over the Book Now button, and then my phone buzzed with another message from Sarah. The kids are crying because their favorite aunt is being selfish. I hope you're happy with yourself. I think they thought I was joking. I clicked the button, entered my card details and hit confirm. Booked the whole thing. Flights, hotels, tours. A real vacation in Spain. Not some work by the pool trip, but an actual phone-off break during the exact week they wanted me to babysit. My hands were still shaking as I finished, but now it was excitement, not anxiety. I hadn't felt this free in years, maybe ever. Then I did something even crazier. I opened my work email and wrote to my boss, requesting 2 weeks off instead of just 1. I wrote, I realized I haven't taken a proper vacation in 3 years. I need this time to recharge before the merger. She replied almost immediately, finally. I've been trying to get you to take a real break for ages. Approved. Don't you dare check your emails while you're gone. I turned my phone off completely and stood by my window, watching the city lights. For the first time in forever, I felt like I could actually breathe, like I was finally choosing myself instead of always choosing everyone else. I never mentioned Spain to anyone, and for days they went silent, probably too busy packing. But as the departure date neared, they suddenly started checking in on me again. I saw every message but left them all unread. The day before their trip, their messages started getting more intense. I sat for an hour, just staring at my phone, watching the messages roll in. They were getting nastier by the minute. Typical guilt trip stuff, like how I was tearing the family apart and how could I be so selfish, blah blah blah. That's when I decided to end it once and for all. I opened my work email, the fancy one I use for business, and sent this message to our entire family group chat. I'm aware that you've all planned a vacation without me and intended to use me for babysitting. That will not be happening. I'm not included, and I'm not yours to use. This is not up for discussion. Bon voyage, you guys. The chaos that followed was unreal. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing, so I had to put it on airplane mode before it exploded. First came the shock messages. Amy sent like 15 texts in a row, all just asking, "What do you mean?" As if my email wasn't clear enough. Sarah went straight for the emotional manipulation. "The kids are crying. They were so excited to spend time with their aunt. How could you disappoint them like this? Sure, January, your 3-year-old who can't even read, definitely saw my email and started crying. Then came Mom's signature move, the sad face emoji followed by, 'You ruined everything. I raised you better than this.' Did you though, Mom? Did you? Dad actually called me. He never calls. He left an awkward voicemail like, 'Hey sweetie, your mom's really upset. Maybe we can, talk about this?' Classic dad trying to fix things but not knowing how. But my personal favorite was from Sarah's husband, who never gets involved in family drama. 'Hey Em, Sarah's really upset. She already told her boss she's taking the week off. Can't you just help us out? We really need this vacation.' Yeah, buddy, and I really need to not be your free childcare service. The best part? While all of this was happening, I was getting email confirmations for my Spain bookings. Every time a "your reservation is confirmed" email popped up, I felt a little lighter. I booked this amazing food tour in Barcelona, a walking tour of Madrid, even signed up for a beginner Spanish class. I figured I should at least learn how to order coffee without embarrassing myself. Then came the angry phase. Sarah started posting these super obvious, passive-aggressive Facebook statuses about people who don't understand family values and selfish attitudes in today's society. Amy went on this long Instagram rant about toxic people who abandon children. Apparently not watching someone's kids for free while they go on vacation now counts as abandonment. Who knew? My cousin Kate, who usually stays out of drama, actually messaged me. "Hey, saw your email. That was kind of harsh, don't you think?" I replied with a screenshot of all the times she had asked me to babysit in the last month. She left me on read. Aunt Lisa, absolute queen that she is, just sent me a message. "Good for you. Want me to teach you some Spanish swear words before your trip?" The family group chat was on fire. I muted it but occasionally peeked in to watch the drama unfold. Meanwhile, I was sitting on my couch, drinking fancy coffee that I can afford because I have a real job, while Sarah booked spa treatments for my Spain trip, and I felt weirdly peaceful about the whole thing. At that moment, the only thing bothering me was that I felt like they were probably going to try showing up at my apartment for this intervention Amy was planning. I thought of crashing at a friend's place for a few days, or putting a sign on my door that said, "Gone to Spain, don't wait up." But it was too late. They actually showed up at my apartment the next day. All of them. Mom, Dad, Amy, Sarah, plus a few other relatives who apparently had nothing better to do on a Thursday evening than participate in this circus. Thank God the kids weren't with them. Probably the only smart decision they made that day. I was in the middle of packing for Spain, bought a cute new suitcase and everything, when I heard them in the hallway. Sarah's voice carries like a foghorn when she's mad, so I knew it was them before they even knocked. I didn't answer at first, but they wouldn't leave. They just kept knocking and calling my name. My neighbors were definitely getting a show. Finally, I opened the door, figuring it was better than having them stand outside yelling all night. They pushed their way in like they owned the place. Mom immediately started crying, of course. Dad looked uncomfortable as usual, and Sarah, oh boy. Sarah had this look on her face like she was about to start preaching. "We've been talking," Sarah said in her, "I'm about to say something terrible, but pretend it's coming from a place of love voice. And we're really worried about your mental state." I actually laughed. "My mental state is fine. Better than ever, actually." "You abandoned your family," Amy chimed in. "You're refusing to help with the children. That's not normal behavior. Not being your free babysitter isn't abandonment," I said. "The kids have parents. Multiple parents, all of whom are choosing to go on vacation instead of watching their own children." That's when Sarah dropped the bomb. "If you keep acting like this, refusing to help with the kids, we might have to call CPS." I literally froze. "What?" "Well," Sarah said with this fake concerned look, "if you're having some kind of breakdown and it's affecting the kids, are you seriously threatening to call CPS because I won't babysit for free while you go on vacation?" We're worried about your relationship with the kids, Amy added. I haven't refused to see them. I've refused to be your unpaid nanny. Mom was full on sobbing now. We just want to help you. Help me? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. By threatening to call CPS for what, exactly? Not providing free childcare? You've been acting erratic, Sarah insisted. Booking sudden trips, sending aggressive emails. An adult booking a vacation and setting boundaries is not erratic behavior, I said. And you know what? Go ahead, call CPS. Explain to them how you're reporting your sister because she won't watch your kids for free while you go skiing. See how that goes. Sarah pulled out her phone like she was actually going to do it. That's when Dad finally spoke up. That's enough, he said, actually raising his voice for once. Sarah put the phone away. You're being ridiculous, she muttered. But no, Dad cut her off. You're threatening your sister with CPS because she won't provide free childcare. Do you realize how insane that sounds? The room went quiet. You could hear my upstairs neighbor's cat walking around. I want you all to leave, I said now. And if any of you ever threaten me with CPS again, I'll go straight to a lawyer. You'd sue your own family? Sarah gasped. Try me. They left eventually, but not before Mom tried one last guilt trip. I just don't understand what we did wrong raising you. And Sarah muttered something about me being unstable. As soon as they were gone, I called Aunt Lisa and told her everything. She was livid, like I could hear her pacing through the phone. She apparently called Mom and read her the riot act for letting Sarah make threats like that. I also texted my work friend, who's a lawyer, just in case. She's already offered to write them a cease and desist letter if they try anything stupid. The best part? I'm actually glad they pulled this stunt. Any guilt I had about going to Spain? Gone. They showed their true colors and they're ugly as hell. I'm flying to Spain tomorrow. Wish me luck. Link to original post, not allowed in this sub. Basically, my family tried to force me to babysit 5 kids during their vacation that I helped pay for. I booked a trip to Spain instead. They threatened CPS. Chaos ensued. First off, thank you to everyone for the support on my original post. You guys really helped me see that I wasn't crazy for standing my ground. So, I went to Spain. It was amazing. I turned my phone off the entire time except to send pictures to Aunt Lisa. I had actual free time to do whatever I wanted. Ate amazing food, went to art museums, took naps in the middle of the day just because I could. Met some cool people at my hotel. Even went on a date with a British guy who was there on business. Nothing serious. But hey, apparently I'm not as undateable as Sarah claims. But the real updates are about what happened when I got back. The family drama somehow got even worse while I was gone. Sarah told everyone I abandoned the kids and ruined their vacation. They ended up having to pay actual money for a babysitter. Shocking, I know. And apparently the sitter quit after 2 days because the kids were too hard to handle. Weird how they're angels when I watch them, though. Amy's still doing damage control with her MLM group because they had to cancel their business retreat, aka planned shopping trip, when she couldn't find free childcare. She's been posting these long Facebook rants about family loyalty that everyone knows are about me. Mom keeps sending me these weird articles about career burnout and finding balance in life. I finally blocked her number after she sent one called The Emptiness of Success Without Family. But here's the good stuff. I met someone. And yeah, we're actually dating. Like real grown-up dating. He's single, loves to travel, and get this. He actually asks about my job and thinks it's impressive instead of treating it like some cute little hobby. We're already planning a trip to Portugal in the spring. The merger at work? Absolute success. Got a massive bonus and a promotion. My boss actually mentioned how much more focused I've been since setting boundaries with my family. Turns out not having your phone blow up with emergencies every hour helps your work performance. Aunt Lisa and I have gotten super close. We do weekly coffee dates now. She's been sharing some family tea that explains a lot about why my sisters are the way they are. Apparently their perfect marriages aren't so perfect. Shocker. I did end up sending that cease and desist letter through my lawyer friend, after Sarah tried to spread rumors at her church about me being mentally unstable. Haven't heard a peep from her since. The family's still mad, but honestly, I don't care anymore. My life is so much better without the constant guilt trips and demands. I actually have time for hobbies now. Started taking painting classes, redecorated my apartment, and adopted a cat. Her name is Pella. Yes, I named her after Spanish food. Don't judge. Last week, I got this long email from Dad. The first time he's ever reached out on his own. He actually apologized for not standing up for me sooner, and said he's proud of how I've handled myself. That meant a lot, even though I'm not ready to fully let them back in my life yet. So yeah, that's where things stand. I'm happier than I've been in years. My calendar is full of things I want to do instead of family emergencies. The only baby I take care of now is my sourdough starter. Okay? And maybe Pella. She's kind of a baby. Yes, I actually did send back Mom's emergency key. No, I haven't unblocked Sarah. Yes, Pella is named after the food. Cat tax in my profile. My boyfriend Dave says hi. He's a Reddit user and found my original post awkward but cute.